there are 6 children lined up on the playground. Professor Dumbledore says there are 3 groups of 2 children. There are 3 groups of 2 children. So Dumbledore says there are 3 groups of 2 children. Then Mr. Minion comes along and says, no. There are 2 groups of 3 children. Mr. Minion says there are 2 groups of 3 children. Minion says 2 groups of 3. Who is correct? Pause the video and have a think. So who do you think is correct? Professor Dumbledore, who said there are 3 groups of 2, or Mr. Minion, who says there are 2 groups of 3? Well, let's have a look. I'm going to move Mr. Minion aside. Dumbledore says there are 3 groups of 2. Now Dumbledore is looking at the children from this angle. Okay, he's standing up here and he can see there is 1 group of 2. He's looking from this side. He can see another group of 2. And he can see another group of 2. So he said there's 3 groups of 2, and he's standing from this side, and that's what he thinks. So I think he's correct. There's 3 groups, and each group has 2. Let's see if Mr. Minion is correct. So Mr. Minion is standing on this side, and if he's standing from up here, and he's looking at the rows of children, what can he see? He can see this row, and he can also see this row. So they are both correct. Professor Dumbledore and Mr. Minion are both correct. 3 groups of 2 and 2 groups of 3. Is the answer different? So 3 times 2 is the same as, so looking at the pink circles, 2, 4, 6. That equals 6. And 2 groups of 3. We haven't learnt our 3 times tables yet, so let's just count them in ones first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 times 3 is also 6. So I've made this array, and I've got Ron Weasley and Harry Potter are arguing over what the number sentence is for this array. We've got Harry is going to stand on this side, and he says that there are 3 rows of 5, because he stands from here, and as he's looking at all of the buttons, he can see 1 row, he can see a 2nd row, and you can see a 3rd row. So Harry sees 3 times 5, 3 rows of 5. 5, 10, 15. So Harry can see 15. Ron comes in and Ron's like, no. It's not 3 times 5. I'm standing over here on this side and I can see something completely different. Ron can see 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows. Ron can see 5 rows, and in each row he can see 3 buttons. So how many buttons can Ron see? Does he see any more than Harry? Does he see less than Harry? Or does he see the same amount? He sees the same amount. The number doesn't change. So we have two number sentences that equal the same amount. So two different arrays. We've got Harry's array, the blue one, and Ron's array, the pink one. Here's another example. This time we have Dumbledore and Hermione. Hermione is standing on this side. What number sentence does Hermione see? Hermione's standing from this angle. What array, what number sentence does Hermione see? Pause the video, and when you when you have written the number sentence, play it again, and I will show you the answer. Okay, Hermione can see this row and this row. So she can see two groups of two rows of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hermione says, I don't know my 6 times tables. How can I figure out what 2 times 6 is? I'm just going to leave that blank for now because I think Dumbledore is going to tell her, give her a bit of a clue. Dumbledore comes around and Dumbledore stands on this side. What array, what number sentence can Dumbledore see if he's standing from this side? Okay, pause the video, write it down, and when you play it again, I will show you how to work it out. So Dumbledore is standing on this side and he wants to count how many rows there are. He can see this row, this row, this row, this row, this one, and this one. So how many rows does Dumbledore see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He sees 6 rows, and in each row there are 2 Cheerios. And Dumbledore, he knows how to count in twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 6 groups of 2 is 12. Now, let's think back to the last question. The last one said 3 times 5 equals 15. And then we had 5 times 3 equals 15. So if we know that 6 times 2 is 12, we can figure out 2 times 6 is 12. Five groups of 6. 5 times 6. Now, we haven't learned how to count in 6s yet, but we do know how to count in 5, so we can use that information to help us figure out this question. So let's set out this number sentence as an array. So 5 groups of 6, 5 rows of 6. I'm going to set my array out. So here's my array. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in each row. So I'm going to circle in this way. I'm going to match the color to the color I used for the number sentence just to make things much easier. So these are my groups. And this group is Harry's group, okay? Harry sees 5 groups of 6, and he doesn't know how to count in 6s. But Hermione comes along. Hermione says, you don't need to know how to count in sixes. You can count in fives. So she shows Harry that you can also look at it this way. So what can Hermione see? She sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She sees 6 groups of, and in each blue group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5. So she's going to count in fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 6 times 5 is 30. So if you know 6 times 5, you also know 5 times 6. So the answer is, let's get my proper pen out, the answer is 30. This is all called commutativity. Commutativity. So I say, you say, okay? Commutativity. Commutativity. Commutativity is where you have multiplication number sentences where you swap the numbers. Oops, that is not correct. Sorry, guys. Where you swap the numbers and it gives you the same answer. So 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 10 is 20. 10 times 2 is 20. Your task now is to create an array for every one of these number sentences. Then you're going to circle the different groups with 2 different coloring pencils or felt tips like I just did in the video. And then you are going to write the matching number sentence. So for example, with 2 times 4, you're going to make an array with 2 groups of 4. Then you're going to circle it both ways. Then you're going to write its matching number sentence, which will be 4 times 2. Okay, so you're going to make arrays for all of these number sentences, circle the 2 different ways with different colors, and then write the matching number sentences.